Okay, so you're getting ready for that big accountant interview, huh? Well, get ready to feel confident. We took a deep dive into a super popular YouTube video, Accountant Interview Questions and Answers, by Richard McMunn from CareerVids.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He had some awesome advice, like seriously, gold for anyone who wants to impress in the accounting world.
For sure. It's not just about knowing the answers.
Right.
You got to show those interviewers your passion, your skills, the whole package.
Exactly. He jumps right into it with, tell me about yourself, that classic question they always ask.
Right.
And he really emphasized practicing that answer. It might seem like a no-brainer, but that first impression, so important.
It's everything. It's like your elevator pitch, that chance to tell your story, how you became an accountant, what got you excited about this field, what are you amazing at, and then tie it all back to what that specific firm is looking for.
Yeah, yeah. Connect those dots for him.
Exactly.
And get this, he even suggests practicing in front of a mirror.
Oh, I love that.
They'd seem a little old school. It's classic for a reason.
But seriously, think about it. You practice how you're speaking, your body language. All that builds confidence. And that confidence, it shows.
100%. Like anything else, practice makes perfect, right? The more you practice, the more natural it feels. You walk into that interview feeling like you got this. And he also mentioned tailoring that response, to the specific firm and role. Don't be afraid to really emphasize the experiences and skills that match what they're looking for.
Totally. It's like he said, research, research, research. You've got to know your stuff.
Yeah.
Knowing about their mission, values, even their recent projects, it shows you're serious. You're not just looking for any accounting job. You want this one.
And it's not just looking at their website, Dig a little deeper. News articles, their social media, see what employees are saying, get a sense of their vibe.
It's like company culture.
Exactly. Show them you've done your homework, you're invested. You're not just sending out a million resumes. You're interested in them. It's like dating, but for your career. Right. How to see if you're a good fit. He also had some great tips on showing your passion for accounting, too.
Oh, so?
Like, this isn't just a job for you. It's something you're genuinely excited about.
You got to love it. He really emphasized the why behind it. Like, what gets you fired up about accounting? Is it the problem solving, the numbers?
Real analysis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Connect those interests to the bigger picture. Let that enthusiasm shine through. Trust me, genuine passion that's memorable.
Absolutely. And you know what else he talked about? Sharing what first got you interested in accounting. Did you always love math? Was it a family member who inspired you?
Right.
It shows this path makes sense for you, like it was meant to be.
It adds that personal touch.
Yeah.
It's not just a career choice. It's part of who you are. And speaking of showcasing your skills, he had some really interesting points about communication, which is huge for accountants.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Because it's not enough to just be a numbers whiz, right? You've got to be able to explain those numbers, especially to clients who might not be finance people.
Make it relatable.
Yeah.
It's all about translating those complex ideas into everyday language. Like, think about explaining it to a friend who doesn't know anything about accounting.
Right. Like, keep it simple.
That's your audience.
He actually gave this great example using a balance sheet, but relating it to a bakery.
Oh, I love that.
Like, instead of assets, it's ingredients, right?
So smart.
And liabilities become loans.
Yeah.
And then equity, that's the owner's investment. Suddenly, the balance sheet doesn't seem so intimidating.
It just clicks. It's about making it accessible. That's such a valuable skill.
Totally. Now, he also talked about problem solving, which obviously super important for accountants.
Of course.
Be ready to share a specific story of how you tackled a challenging problem. And he actually recommends using the STAR method, situation, task, action, result.
Oh, yeah, the STAR method.
It's a really good way to walk the interviewer through your thought process.
It's structured, it's clear, it works.
And when you're sharing that example, be specific, put it in context. Did you spot an error that saved the company money? Did you create a new process that made things more efficient?
Results. Gotta have them.
Yeah. He actually gave this really compelling example about a $200,000 inventory discrepancy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he talked about how he traced back all the transactions, found the issue. It was with the new inventory system they implemented, and then worked with the IT department to fix it.
See, that's a great example because it shows not just his problem solving, but also collaborating with other teams to get it done.
Totally. And that $200,000, that sticks with you,
Well, it
right?
makes a difference.
Like, wow, this is high stakes. So when you're prepping for your interview, think back on your experiences. What were those tough situations you faced in your past roles? How did you use your accounting skills to navigate those challenges and achieve good outcomes?
Yes. Think about those aha moments, those times when you use your knowledge and your skills to really make a difference.
Yeah, those are the stories interviewers want to hear.
For sure.
And, it's not just about the technical stuff, right? He really highlighted the importance of emotional intelligence, too, especially when it comes to dealing with those, let's call them interesting
Oh,
clients.
yeah, for sure. He didn't shy away from that at all.
Mm.
It's like dealing with difficult people, that's just part of the job, right?
Right.
And they want to know you can handle it. Handle it well,
Yeah.
stay calm, find solutions, build those relationships, even when it's tough.
It's all about staying professional. And he had some really good advice for that, like actually picking up the phone, having a real conversation, especially when things get a little tense over email.
Yeah. Yeah, humanize it. Sometimes a personal touch, can totally change the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
He had this example about a client who was just constantly rude, difficult over email.
Hmm.
So what did he do? Instead of getting defensive, he picked up the phone, scheduled a face-to-face meeting.
Oh, wow.
Turns out the client was just super stressed, totally overwhelmed, and that face-to-face interaction
Mm.
made all the difference.
It's like there's always more to the story, right?
Yeah.
A little empathy can go a long way. And on that note, he also talked about handling those dreaded, what's your biggest weakness questions. You know, the
Oh,
ones
yeah, the classic.
everyone hates those.
But they ask them for a reason. They want to see your self-awareness, how willing you are to grow. He said a lot of people mess up by giving those canned responses or trying to make a strength sound like a weakness.
Right, like I'm just such a perfectionist.
Please, everyone sees through that.
Yeah, no one's buying it.
He said the key is to be real, authentic. Acknowledge a real area you want to work on, but then talk about what you're doing to improve. He gave an example about how he used to get nervous in new situations.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Right, so he joined Toastmasters, worked on his public speaking, and now he loves presenting.
Wow, talk about turning a weakness into a strength. Okay, so we talked about nailing those common questions, but what about those curveballs?
Oh yeah, those ones that come out of left field.
The ones that really test you?
They want to see you think on your feet.
Hmm.
Stay calm, think clearly, communicate well, even under pressure,
It's like pressure cooker.
right? But he had some great advice for handling those too. Like, first of all, breathe,
Hmm.
take a moment, collect your thoughts, and then structure your response in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, don't just start rambling.
Exactly. And one of the best tips, have some stories ready to go, anecdotes from your experience that you can adapt to different questions.
Oh, that's smart.
Right? It's like having a mental toolbox.
Mhm.
Think about those times you faced a challenge, worked under pressure, dealt with a difficult colleague, or even learned from a mistake.
Those are good ones.
Those stories are gold in an interview.
They're not just stories, they're proof.
Exactly. They show what you can do. Like, let's say you had to work under a crazy deadline to finish this super complex financial report.
Oh, been there.
Right. So talk about it, the situation, the challenges, what you did, and the result.
Paint the picture.
Exactly. Bring those experiences to life. Show them how you operate in the real world. And don't be afraid to talk about the challenges, or even the mistakes you made along the way.
It's how we learn and grow, right?
Yeah.
No one's perfect. Showing you can bounce back from those learning experiences, that's huge.
Absolutely. Resilience, adaptability, that willingness to learn. Interviewers love that stuff. And speaking of things they love, he also talked about asking good questions at the end of the interview.
So important. It's amazing how many people forget that part, or they just blow it off.
It's a missed opportunity. Those questions, they're your chance to shine.
Totally.
It shows you're curious, you're engaged, you're already thinking about how you can contribute. Plus, it's your chance to see if they're a good fit for you, right?
A two-way street. It's not just about them grilling you.
Exactly. But he said so many people just default to, nope, I think you covered it all.
Oh, come on.
I know. Come prepared with some good questions, something that shows your knowledge, your interest.
What would be a good example?
Well, maybe something about the company culture, or a recent project that they worked on, or even something that ties back to your skills, how you can make a difference.
Show them you're invested.
Exactly. That you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for the right job.
The perfect fit. And speaking of ending on a good note, he mentioned sending a thank you email afterward.
Oh, it's a must.
It seems like such a small thing.
It makes a difference. It's your last chance to reiterate your enthusiasm, highlight some key points from the conversation, thank them for their time.
Leave that lasting impression. So, as we're wrapping up our deep dive into acing those accountant interviews, what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
Believe in yourself. You've got the skills, you've got the experience, you've got the passion. Let it shine. Be authentic, be confident, and remember, it's a two-way street. Find the right fit for you.
Love it. You've got this.